thrill me.
This show is part of the Thrill Me Podcast Network. Experience more on Facebook and YouTube.
It's Review It Man, reviewing what he can. Movies are his jam, so let's get twisted, man. It's Review It Rob. Ayo, welcome into a special second episode this week of the Review It Rob Show. I promised you in my other episode this week where I was reviewing Godzilla Minus One that I would have another episode releasing this week, special week where I released 2 episodes. I said that about 5 times already. Anyways, we are talking the film Poor Things. I got to finally see that movie, Oscar-nominated film for several awards. So gonna talk about that, my thoughts on those awards after seeing this movie, all that stuff, man, as well. A little bit of news to throw out there that has happened since the last episode. Obviously, I gave you news of that episode, so got some new things to add into this week's episode, but nonetheless, Poor Things is where we're going, and this movie is rated R for gore, disturbing material, graphic nudity, language, and strong sexual content. And kids, I was not expecting the graphic nudity and strong sexual content in this movie, so we will touch back on that later on when we're reviewing the film here. Because, you know, your boy did not look into things further. The movie before seeing it, I was just like, oh, Emma Stone movie, I'm in. The film is a comedy/drama, 2 hours, 21 minutes, and it is finally in theaters. This movie, I don't know if for y'all listeners out there or not, if it was around you, but this film has not been around me whatsoever for the longest time. I kept seeing and hearing about it, seeing the ads for it, the promos, the Oscar nominations, and other award nominations. I'm like, cool, that's awesome. I wish I could see the movie. And then finally, after those nominations came out, Regal finally decided to add the movie as well as other Oscar-nominated films. So I was like, heck, freaking yes. So there's one thing the Oscars did right there. Got that movie in theaters for me. This film is the incredible tale and fantastical evolution of Bella Baxter, a young woman brought back to life by the brilliant and unorthodox scientist Dr. Godwin Baxter. Under Baxter's protection, Bella is eager to learn, hungry for the worldliness she is lacking. Yes, worldliness she is lacking. Bella runs off with Duncan Winterburn, a slick and debauched lawyer, on a whirlwind adventure across the continents, free from the prejudices of her time. Good thing I got a podcast. I can't talk. Her time. Bella grows steadfast in her purpose to stand for equality and liberation. The film, over at Rotten Tomatoes, critics have it at a 93%, while the audience has it at an 80%. IMDb has it at an 8.4 out of 10. So what were my thoughts on the film? All right, so circling back real quick to that critic and audience score here. I'm not surprised the audience score is down towards an 80% for this film, just because overall this is a weird movie. This is a very unorthodox kind of movie. It's something that's going to mess with your mind a good bit. It's going to get you thinking. It's going to get your attention in many different ways. It's going to have you trying to catch up to what's going on. While not completely, like, it's not hard to understand, you know what I'm saying? Like, you get the idea. It's a new agey version of a Frankenstein film. We've just got a young woman being brought back to life by an unorthodox scientist, as opposed to, you know, what the classic Frankenstein story is. You have that, and then, of course, the story is of this young woman who is growing and becoming wiser, and she's learning throughout the film, and she wants to get out of the compound that she's in. She's in, you know, stuck in the house. She's stuck in the scientist's house. She wants to go live her life. She wants to get out. She wants to see the world. All that stuff. All she can see is out of a window. She wants to experience the whole world. All that stuff. So the storyline of the film, very good, very well put together, very well done. And the performances, of course, are fantastic. We're talking Emma Stone, William Dafoe in this movie. I mean, we're talking fantastic performers already there as well. We can throw Mark Ruffalo in there. He's pretty dang solid in his role in this movie as well. So I say all that stuff. Like, the movie is weird, but it's an interesting weird. You know, it's a beautifully monstrous, insane, but lovely, crazy but smart kind of film. It's so many different ways to describe it. Like it's a trip of a film. So it's considered a comedy drama, but there is horror aspects in the movie. Again, we're talking about a young dead body being brought back to life. We're talking about gore. There is gore in this film, but um, the drama is there. The story is very wrenching, especially as it goes on. Of course, no spoilers as always. But the story does have its drama aspects and has some great comedy in it. Smart and stupid comedy, but not the stupid comedy that's like, oh my god, it's so ridiculous. It's just it's the easy funny comedy is what I mean. Not necessarily stupid comedy, the easy funny comedy, right? Um, but yeah, that you've got all those aspects, and then so much sexual content in this movie that again I was not expecting, and I did not realize that going into this movie that it was going to be so much of that. Now, awkward, to say the least, which fits the movie. The movie is awkward, but when you're sitting in an audience and seeing scenes like that, you got to be a very mature adult. Just saying. So be warned going in. There is graphic nudity and strong sexual content in the movie. All right, but awkward I think is a very well word that you can put together for here, but it's an interesting awkward. It's such a it's hard to describe the movie because it is just such a whirlwind of a film that you're watching it, and the best thing about it is we know if most of us know the Frankenstein story and all that stuff, and you know with that Frankenstein film, you see Frankenstein get out in the world at one point, and trying to see how Frankenstein adapts to something they don't fully understand. Of course, now we get this movie, which again is heavily inspired by Frankenstein and has those same aspect of person wants to get out into the world and experience all this stuff, and it's great and it's very well done. Like I am a huge Emma Stone fan. I've absolutely loved her since the first time I saw her, and that was in Superbad. Since that time, I have loved any movie that she's been in. Um, I'm just excited to see it because she's in it, and just seeing her progression as an actress and going from the the comedic roles to more adventurous and drama and musicals and all kinds of things that this woman has been able to do throughout the years and has now um, captured many awards and been nominated for many awards, to where she's probably this generation's Meryl Streep, right? Meryl Streep's always nominated for some kind of award when it comes to acting, and Emma Stone, it kind of seems like she's in that same aspect now, to where she is continuously being nominated for her work, which she absolutely deserves, and especially in this film, the way she portrays this character who is, again, coming to life and learning and relearning how to walk, how to talk, how to ride a bike, how to function in everyday life, and then learning about herself, learning about her body, learning about other people, learning how to deal with everything. Like the way she works throughout this movie is just extremely well put together, well done, not just performance wise, but writing wise. I think they did a great job. William Dafoe, what else can we say about William Dafoe? He's always great. Has like a menacing vibe to him most of the time we see him on screen. Of course, we're used to him seeing him playing a villain, playing the unorthodox scientist a la Frankenstein. Of course, in here, Godwin Baxter does a great job. Very well put together performance from him to be believable as this mad scientist who is doing insane kind of work. And they show a lot of his other work in this movie. And again, awkward, weird, strange, beautiful, crazy, unorthodox, but interesting in every way. So all that stuff. Mark Ruffalo, I think a lot of us, when it comes to Mark Ruffalo, we're used to him as, of course, Bruce Banner slash the Hulk, and I guess now Professor Hulk or whatever in Marvel. To see him playing a lawyer character that's like a debauched lawyer, debauchery. He's not. He's a sleazeball. Let's go ahead and go out there and say that he's a sleazeball. So, seeing him play this kind of character and everything, he does a really good job of putting that work together and putting the thing together. And again, harping on the same thing that I've said, but all of this stuff, the performances add to a script that was very well put together and pushing forward this story that is so weird but so interesting. So I had a really good time watching this movie. If you couldn't tell already, I did enjoy the film a good bit. I will obviously watch it again at some point in time. Probably not before the Oscars happen. I don't know when this movie will be released on physical media or whatever, but it's worth your time. It is an interesting story. Again, just be prepared. There is the awkwardness of the graphic sexual content in the movie, so be prepared to deal with that if you're trying to watch with family or something like that. Be prepared. We've all had those interesting, awkward times of watching a movie and all of a sudden, and there's a lot of in this movie. So be ready for that. I'm trying to look up a release date for the Poor Things. Poor Things DVD Blu-ray release date is estimated for February 2024. So next month sometime it should be out on physical media. All right, so I mean, and I think it's already streaming somewhere for you to check out. I'm sure it is. If you want to pay like that $29.99 or whatever to check it out, go ahead and go for it. I guess save some of the awkwardness seeing in theaters. Again, if you're a mature adult, it's not awkward, but things happen. But it is, even in the awkward moments of the movie, there's still some kind of laugh you can get in there. And again, that goes to the strongly put together movie. So let's see. Poor Things streaming. So yeah, I'm not seeing anything streaming wise at the moment, but it is owned. It's made by Searchlight, which is owned by Disney, so it'll be on Disney Plus at some point in time through Hulu, of course. But that is becoming one app eventually, hopefully soon, because there's movies that are on Hulu, and I have the Disney Plus Hulu bundle, but I go to try to log into the Hulu app, and it's like, you don't have a subscription. So annoying, to say the least. So hopefully that gets figured out pretty quickly, and they have that all in one app. They had the hub already for Hulu on the Disney Plus app, and I was able to watch something recently through there. Yeah, but nonetheless, Poor Things. Again, it is weirdly, awkwardly beautiful. Not so much monster movie, but kind of a familiar monster movie vibe to a growing tale of a young lady finding herself. So I worked my way into that somehow, but very well put together, very enjoyable movie. So yeah, definitely go ahead and check that out. I googled where it's streaming, and they're giving me a whole bucket of nothing. So I'm sure it's on like something for $29.99 or whatever somewhere. It's got to be, but uh, yeah, it might be on Prime Video. So just search it. It's probably somewhere. I'm searching Google right now. It's giving me a whole bucket of nothing. As far as Academy Awards, the movie is nominated for Best Picture. I think it absolutely deserves that. Best Actress 100% deserves that, and I would expect Emma Stone to win. Best Supporting Actor for Mark Ruffalo, I believe. It doesn't say the name. I'm just looking at the awards here. But Best Supporting Actor, I believe that is Mark Ruffalo. He was good in the movie. We'll see how he does there. Best Director, absolutely. Best Original Score, very good score. Cinematography. Cinematography is something I don't talk about on my show. I mean, it's not something I overly think about and all that stuff. Like, I just watch a movie and tell you, what I thought of the movie. Look wise and all that stuff is not a big deal to me. It's cool. It's a cool added aspect, but it's not something that I'm gonna be like, oh, that's why I like the movie. I guess if that makes sense. That's gonna be my major. Like all the people who complain about the Flash, the superhero who runs really fast, so the screen's gonna be a little blurry at points. They all complain about the CGI in that movie. Whatever. I didn't care about the CGI in that movie. Stuff like that. So, best cinematography, I could see it. I can see it being nominated for that. There are some gorgeous views and creations in the movie, so sure. Best adapted screenplay, best costume design, sure. Okay, I can see it. Best production design, yes. Makeup, hairstyling, sure. And film editing, why not? Definitely deserving of its Oscar nominations and your time. All right, going from there, let's jump into some other news real quick. The biggest news that has happened since the other episode I released this week is that DC, we officially have a Supergirl, ladies and gentlemen. It is none other than Millie Alcock. It is Millie. I had to pause there for a second because I continuously wanted to say Molly. I even wrote Molly at one point. It is Millie Alcock. She will be portraying Supergirl in the DCU. She will be the Woman of Steel for the Woman of Tomorrow film. She's mostly known for her role in House of the Dragon, which is a Game of Thrones spin-offy Targaryen show. I didn't watch it, but that's what it was. Gunn added to it saying, quote, Millie was the first person I brought up to Peter Safran, for this role well over a year ago when I had only read the comics. I was watching House of the Dragon and thought she might have the edge, grace, and authenticity we needed for the DCU Supergirl. Which was, where it's awesome to get a casting news on Supergirl. A lot of us were kind of wondering, is Sasha Calle going to be the Supergirl here? Or are they just going with a whole new actress? Not surprising they're going to go a new route with the actress here. And I'm not saying not surprising as in Sasha Calle didn't deserve it. She was fantastic in the Flash film as Supergirl. But not surprised they're casting somebody else here. Now, there's been some talk about back and forth about why is someone already cast for the film when there's not even a director for the movie. It's not the first time this happened in Hollywood. It's not going to be the last time this happens in Hollywood. I think, if I remember correctly, that Barbie movie went through. I think at one point in time, Rick and Amy Schumer was on board to play Barbie, right? And then they couldn't find a director, then they couldn't find an actor, and it goes back and forth. And then they finally landed on Gold over there with Greta Gerwig and Margot Robbie. But it makes you wonder now that they've cast Supergirl if she's going to be in Superman Legacy somewhere, especially if that movie is still without a director. I don't know. It's based on the comic book, so we'll have the comic book writing there and all that stuff. But we'll see. I wouldn't be surprised to see Supergirl in the Superman Legacy film. Maybe towards the end, stinger credit scene or something like that, or shows up somewhere around the end to help Superman in a battle or whatever. We'll see. But time will tell where that goes. Speaking of time will tell, as they're recording this episode, we're 1 year removed from the announcement from James Gunn and Peter Safran of their DCU slate. 1 year ago, they announced the things that they were working on. They showed us the slate, all this stuff. Gunn marked the occasion on his Instagram and gave an update on where things are currently at with saying, quote, Superman Legacy is about to start production. Episodes of Creature Commandos are being finished that will release later this year. At least 2 more projects are gearing up to go in the next couple months. Amazing scripts keep coming in, and incredible talent are being attached to new projects, planned and unplanned. So yeah, man, it's exciting. I'm so excited about this. I know DC gets crapped on a lot, but I love DC so much. Like, I love the characters. I love that world. I love that universe. It was the first introduction to me for comics was DC, and I've just been in love with, Batman and the Flash ever since, and then just loved DC in general ever since. So I'm excited, man. I can't wait to see what they do. I'm ready for. I don't watch a whole lot of animated stuff, but I'm sitting here like, come on, let's go, Creature Commandos, ready for this. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see what they bring for us. And people on the internet are gonna hate. That's what they do. So whatever. Haters are gonna hate, man. Who cares? There's always a hater in the world. Who gives a crap? Let them hate. You can just keep shining. All right. Last bit of DC talk here, real quick. Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League video game has come out, and people are, of course, complaining about that. And they are complaining about Kevin Conroy, and that may be his last Batman performance, and yada, yada, yada. I'm not paying too much attention to it because I don't want stuff spoiled for me. So, say what it is. But this will not be Kevin Conroy's last run as the Batman. Sadly, Kevin Conroy is no longer with us, but Kevin was able to get some more performances done before his untimely passing. So we do have Batman Cape Crusader. Remember, this was the show that was supposed to be going on Max, and then they, in a brilliant move, decided they didn't want to do that, but they did shop it, and it was picked up by Amazon. The show is a spiritual successor to Batman the Animated Series, so over at Amazon you'll get Batman Cape Crusader with Kevin Conroy involved, and then the other one will be the Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 3, where he will, of course, be voicing Batman the Animated Series version of the character, in that there is currently no release date announced for Part 3. So, 2 more runs here with Kevin Conroy as Batman, considered the greatest Batman of all time by so many people, definitely the greatest voice of Batman without a shadow of a doubt. So, good to know we'll get some more stuff with him. Jumping over to horror, not a whole lot. to talk about that's happened since, again, the other episode released this week. But they did announce today that there's an R-rated version of the 90s cult classic film Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead. They're going to do an R-rated version of that movie. Cool. Have fun with that. Again, it kind of makes me want to watch the 90s movie again for a while. Haven't watched it in quite some time. But Keith Coogan was nice enough to do an episode of the Disnoids back in the day. So thank you for that to him if he's listening to this ridiculous show. And, can't wait to see what they end up doing over there. Other than that, today the PlayStation Live Player, or whatever the fudge they call it, happened, and they announced some things. And one of the things that they announced is very near and dear to my heart is the film, it's going to be made into a film, the video game Until Dawn. They announced that the game will be remastered for PS5 and PC. It will be rebuilt on the Unreal Engine 5. There is a new third-person mode to the game. You'll also be exploring enhanced and new locations with new interaction and collectibles, new and improved animations, new score from legendary horror composer Mark Crovin. Characters, environments, and VFX have been upgraded, and a broader cinematic tonal color palette and new perspectives added to the game. Like I mentioned, I love that game to death. I love what Supermassive has put together over there with the Dark Pictures universe, and it all owes all of it happening to Until Dawn, which was a game I picked up on a whim. I read it was an 80s inspired video game. I picked it up one day on a whim and have been in love ever since with that game. So love the fact that it's being remastered. I will gladly upgrade to the remaster. Easily will do that. So excited for that, man. Other than that, all I really get. Like I said, had news on the regular show this week, and then here's, episode 2 of Fun Times at the old El Review It Rob show. So I've got that going on. Other stuff that's been done this week, my brother and I, Tombstone Josh, we did a Disnoids episode talking about the epically awesome announcements, still some teasing, but announcements that we got from Epic Universe. So check that out, man, if you're a theme park fan. We did that. We also did a reaction to the introduction to Epic Universe video they released as well. So check those out, man, on the Thrilling Podcast Network's YouTube. Haunters Podcast also dropped a new episode where they're talking about the Dark Universe. It's going to be part of Epic Universe as well as Ghostbusters Rumors. So go ahead and check that out as well. All kinds of fun stuff happening over here on the Thrilling Podcast Network, and I appreciate you taking any amount of time to listen to me ramble on this show. I love doing this show, and I appreciate you all taking the time to listen to said show, man. So appreciate you. Hope you have a wonderful rest of the day, week, month, year. And as always, remember that happiness can be found even in the darkest of times if one only remembers to turn on the light. Talk to you all next episode.